Hi, everyone, and welcome to customsbreeze.com, where filling out your customs form is easy breezy and in the comfort of your own home. Today, we're going to be looking at the Traveler Card TC01 of South Africa. This form is really easy to fill out. It'll only take you a couple of minutes, and you'll be done. So before we start with the card, there are a few things that I want to cover. First, I'm going to scroll down and show you the section that you really should be looking at first before you start to fill out the form. When it comes to any form, you should really look at the form in its entirety and then fill it out, as opposed to just filling out line by line by line. Look at what you're going to be signing, entering before you actually start to put pen to paper. Okay, so in this section, it tells you about the red and green channel, which basically is the red line, which means you have to declare, and the green line means you have nothing to declare. Then it gives you a list of things that are prohibited, restricted, and also for your duty and tax-free, there's always limitations to how much you can buy and bring in. So with all this stuff in mind, make sure you read everything before you fill out the form. So I'm going to scroll back up, and before we start, there are just two things that I want to cover, and then we're going to go right into the form. And that is, the traveler card is required, and it's valid for 30 days with no fee, at least at the time of this recording. And the second thing is that you should know before you travel to South Africa is that you do not need a visa from South Africa if you have a passport from the United States. If you don't have a passport from the United States, that means that you're going to have to check and see what the requirements are for your particular country. Okay, so let's hop in with all that being said, and let's just get this done. Okay, so make sure that you have your passport out and make sure that you have the address to where you're going to be staying in South Africa ready, because that information is going to be needed when it comes to filling out this form. So we're going to do the first line, which is your passport number. Write your passport number down in the area that is provided. The next is the flight number. Now, your flight number can be found on your boarding pass or your flight ticket or your booking confirmation. So once you look to see what that is, then you can figure out what you need to write in the space provided. The next section is reason for visit. We all have a lot of reasons for visiting, but they give you some choices here. And if these choices don't pertain to you, they have another section where you can actually fill out and be specific as to your reason for visiting. The same goes for occupation. They give you a number of choices where you can check off, but if these are not the choices that are for you, you can be more specific in the space provided. Okay, so now we're in the section where they're going to ask you about your possessions. And just as we spoke about earlier about looking at the bottom of this form where they give you an area of more specific items that you can look at that are prohibited, restricted, or limited, this section right here is going to ask you if you have those particular if you fall into certain categories. For instance, like the first one they ask you, any prohibited or restricted goods. And so based on the list that they gave you, you'll say yes or no. And the same thing goes for everything else that they're mentioning here. Note, it's very important that you pay attention to the currency. If you have less than $10,000, you do not need to declare it. But if you have more than $10,000, and when I say $10,000, anything that is the equivalent to $10,000 or more, you must declare it. But they give instructions down below in this form. Okay, so we're going to move to the next section. And that is the section where you're going to have handy where you are staying in South Africa, because you have to fill it out on this form. Okay, so we're going to scroll down to the next section, and as you can see, we are at the end. All you need to do is print your name in this blank area, then you move over to the side where it says signature, and you sign your name. You are done, ladies and gentlemen. So this was fast, painless, very, very simple. So I hope this video was informative, and if you have any questions or comments, let us know. Please visit our website at customsbreeze.com, customsbreeze.com, and give us a thumbs up and subscribe. So until next time, have a beautiful day.